Please subscribe the Techies Bubba channel. Click on bell icon and select all to get the notification.
Hello friends. So in this session we are going to discuss about literal, the actual value that we are going to use in our application. So let's think about, if we are writing a program and inside this we want to use the value, we want to use the data, how we are going to use. So we discussed about data type, variables. Now we are going to talk about the value that will be used inside a variable or the constant. So let's just say I have a variable of int type. I want to store some value inside this. We are storing this. I have a variable of string type and I want to store some value inside this. So let's just say I'm going to store the value inside the variable string, that is 34. I want to verify whether it is valid or not. Let's compile this. So if you see, it is showing the error. The error is incompatible types. Int cannot be converted to string. 34, it is indicating to the place 34 is the int value and we cannot store that into the string. Similarly, if you think about other type, let's say Boolean. In the Boolean, I want to store maybe some value, 0. If it is valid, let's verify. No, it is not valid. Int cannot be converted to Boolean. So how you are going to provide the value in the various data type variable? That is what we are going to discuss in this session. So literal is nothing but this value, the actual value that you are using inside the application. Now these values can be used for variable. It can be used for constant, like I can have a final int ab equal to 34. This is for the constant. Or maybe I can have the value for some calculation. I'm saying 12 plus 45. So this is the value, this is the value, and this is the operator that is going to perform some operation with these values. So any value you are using inside your application, that is called as literal. Let's talk about this. So what is literal? Literal is the actual value inside your application, actual value inside the program, that is assigned to variable or the constant. Like when we are writing int xy equal to 10. So 10 is the value that is assigned to the variable or maybe some constant. Or it can be used to perform any operation. You are not assigning inside the variable, you are not assigning inside the constant. Directly you are using to perform the operation. So you can use for variable or constant or maybe for the operation. Any value that we are using inside the program, actual value that we are using inside our application is called as literal. So how it is? Just look at this. When we are writing int xy equal to 88, if I am writing string s equal to some adi, if I am writing boolean b1 equal to true, similarly I am writing char ch equal to a. So what are these components? So if you think, int is the data type, we already discussed about the data type. Xy is the variable name, we discussed about the variable. Equals is an operator. We will talk about this. It is called as assignment operator. And then 88 is the literal, the actual value. Similarly, for the string, so string is the data type, s is the variable name, equals is the operator, and adi is the actual value. Boolean, Boolean is the data type, b1 is the variable name, equals is again the operator, and true is the actual value, the literal. Char is the data type, ch is the name of the variable, equals operator, and then a is the literal, the actual value. So if you see in the integer, we are using just the numeric value, but for the string, we are using double quotes. For the boolean, we are giving some value called true. For the character, we are using single quotes to place the value. So like this, if we have a different data type, how can we provide the value for these variables? That is what we are going to talk in the literal topic. Similarly, you can use for the constant as well. Any type of constant. So final is the modifier, int is the data type, xy is the name of the constant, equals operator, and then 88 is the actual value. These are the variable. xy, s, b1, ch. These are the constant name. And 88 are the true, and a. These are the value, the actual value. So this is literal. So now like this, what are the category available for the literals? How can we categorize the literals? So let's have a look. So when you think about the literal, basically literals can be of two types. One is of numeric and another is non-numeric. Numeric means the digits, the values, and non-numeric means the other format, maybe alphanumeric, characters, any other thing other than numeric or non-numeric. In the non-numeric, we have Boolean type, that is not a digit. We have a string type, that is not a digit, it is like alphanumeric value. And then we have null. Null is the literal. It is a keyword in Java. If you remember the keyword topic, null is a keyword in Java and the use is literals. Now in the numeric topic, in the numeric, we have unsigned and then we have signed. In the unsigned, we have a character type, and in the signed, we have integral and the floating val. So if you think about the category of the literal, the values that you are going to use inside the program, inside the application, can be categorized in any of these type. That is Boolean type, means Boolean values, or it can be a character values, it can be a string values, it can be integral values, or it can be a floating values. Null is like explicitly. So these are the category available for the literal. Any values that we are going to use inside our program, the actual value that we are going to use inside our program will be a part of these types only, these literals only. So if we have the idea of all these literals, like how the value can be represented, what are the options we have to provide the value or to represent the value inside our program, inside our code, then we will be good to proceed. Now in this, we are going to talk about each literals separately. So first we are going to talk about the Boolean literal. Let's talk about the Boolean literal. So when you think about the program, when you think about the application, we can use or we can assign the Boolean literal to the Boolean type variable. So if we are going to use the program, if we are writing the application, and if we have a Boolean data type required, Boolean type variable or some place where Boolean type is required, then you can use the Boolean literal. Now in Java, we have a true and false. These are reserved word. These are not keyword, but these are reserved, and these are reserved for literal purpose. These are known as Boolean literal. True, false, and null. Three words are reserved for the literal purpose. So in that, true and false are basically for the Boolean. Now, since Java is a case sensitive language means the case will be identified. If you give the uppercase and lowercase, those are considered as a different value, a separate value. Both will not be considered as same. So since Java is case sensitive language, Boolean literal true, all in lowercase, Boolean literal true is not same as if you are changing the case of the character. You are writing the true but changing the case of the character. So these are not same as the true Boolean literal. Similarly, Boolean literal false is not same as the other false value in different case. So the true and false must be in the lower case. You should not use a different case for representing true and false. If you are using, those will not be considered as the Boolean literal. Now, in Java program, a Boolean type variable means where Boolean is required. Any variable you defined with the Boolean data type. It can hold only the Boolean literals, that is either true or false. So when you have a Boolean type variable or where the Boolean value is required, the only possibilities to provide the value is either true or false. No other possibilities. Means it cannot hold the numeric value. It cannot hold the numeric value like 0 or non-zero. So when you say, like if you compare this language with other programming language, let's just say you are comparing with C. So in the C, the 0 can be considered as a false and non-zero like 1 other values can be considered as true. But in Java, it is purely a type specific language, a type restricted language. So for the Boolean, we have true and false. We cannot use 0 as false, and we cannot use non-zero value as true in Java programming language. So Boolean literal has only two possibilities, true and false, that too in the lowercase character. Either true or false can be used, and 0 cannot be used as false. You cannot use 0, or non-zero cannot be used as true. So we have seen that if you are using the value, let's say we have a Boolean b1 equal to, if I am trying to use 0 value and compile this, it is saying int cannot be converted to Boolean. 0 is representing the integer value and you cannot store integer value into the Boolean. So for the Boolean, we have only possibilities is true. Let's say we are having Boolean b1 equal to true, it's working fine, or we can say b2 equal to false. So only two possibilities, the true or maybe the false, nothing else. Maybe we can try to represent a different value. Different value means in the different case of the character. I'm just saying b3 equal to Boolean b3 equal to true, but t I am representing in uppercase. Let's verify. So if you see, it is saying cannot find symbol true, variable true. So they are not considering this true t as uppercase as a Boolean variable. They are assuming that it should be a variable. It is like identifier. You know, identifier means any name provided, user defined name provided. So they are not considering true t with uppercase as the literal because it is not the Boolean literal. So let's say defined another variable, that name I am providing as true. and the value for that is false. Remember the variable name, the rules for providing the variable name. The keyword cannot be used as the name. This is not a keyword. We are not using keyword here because Java is case sensitive language. So the lowercase true and the uppercase true will be different, will not be considered as same. So now let's compile this. Now it is not giving any error because at this place true is available but not as a Boolean value. This is not a Boolean value. This true is considered as a variable name. True is variable, not the Boolean value. So this is about the Boolean literal. This is how the Boolean value can be used. So wherever Boolean value is required, you have to use either true or false. You cannot use other possibilities. You cannot use any other values. This is about the Boolean literal.
Please subscribe the Techies Bubba channel. Please subscribe the Techies Bubba channel. Click on bell icon and select all to get the notification.